Well, I tell you what, it is 4 minutes after. Let us begin. All right. With buyers, folks, there's a bunch of things that are, and I know you think all of a sudden somebody calls, I want to go look at a house. Great, fantastic. That's not where you start. Though it's always fun to get into hard, start looking at classes, and I mean, looking at houses and doing all that. That is something you will do, but not right at first. So let's go over some timelines of what happens when. For those of you who were in Ignite, can everybody, let me go back up to the top, hang on. Can everybody see my screen? Yes, good.
Yes.
This was a toolkit from Ignite for Elementals 5 buyer appointments. And in it, there was a lot of information, basically what you do and when, and what Keller Williams and In Command has already given you. But down here, down a ways, you've got some questions that I'll go over in another one about what would your dream home look like? What's important to you?
Hey, Karen.
Yes.
What I'm seeing on the screen is the first page. It says your guide to home ownership. Is that what you're?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That's okay. That's not what you're seeing. You are seeing this. All right, hang on. This is what you're seeing, correct?
Yes.
All right. Let me go to a new share then. Okay, let me start here since I'm here.
Okay.
This is your buyer's guide that is in Command. And Ann was just talking to me about how important it is and how they had just finished talking in Ignite about getting this where you can start sharing it out whenever you do get a buyer. That is so true. But there are so many pages in here you might want or you might not. This is a buyer consultation, and the second page goes into the hows and the whys and when you need to send it or when you would want to send it. Let me share a different screen, and hey, just a second, let me go close my door. Got to do that. So who has looked at the buyer consultation in Command in Designs? If you haven't, this is what we're going to look at. Okay, we're going to stop share and we're going to go over here to a different one. All right, now it's big. This is the second page in the buyer consult in Designs. But I want to go over, it's got some options for you. Here is their instruction page. And as you can tell, they say remove this before you use it, because this is just to give you an idea of when should I use this. If you customize it, you put the pages in that you want, and you have options. The first one is, you haven't had a detailed conversation with your client about what they want, and so you need to document that. Or you have an option, you already have the preferences and conversations, and you're going to do that soon, and you intend to use this booklet when you first meet them. Or you can leave it to or send it to them so that they can look at it, look at the questions, nail down what they want before you even talk to them. So these are your options. How do you want to use this booklet? Ahead of time, telling them, hey, I'm going to send you this booklet, look at it. There's a bunch of questions in here asking you about what your preferences are for houses. Go over them with you and your wife. You can go on to her if you want to, but I'd rather you just answer a bunch of questions for me ahead of time. That way, when we talk, you don't have to think, you've already thought about it. So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like a pre-listing packet would be for a listing. This is a pre-buyer. Put it together so that you can send it ahead of time. A lot of times folks don't know what to say on these questions if it's just right off the top of their head, top of the hat. And so give them an option of thinking about it ahead of time. So as far as neighborhoods, there's a page for neighborhoods. What neighborhoods do they want? And if they do not know, they need to think about it. If they already know, I want in Crossford Geek, I want in KDISD, I want here, I want there, wonderful. But if they're moving from out of state, they might not have an answer to you yet. R2, neighborhoods, you want to showcase the kind of knowledge you have, and you can reference them to some different neighborhoods because of their criteria. How buying a home, of course, you also have to tailor this to what kind of person you have. If it's a first-time home buyer, you're going to talk a certain way as far as mortgage is concerned. The buyer wants a refresh and or a visual checklist on how to finance. That is in here also. And they want this information at their fingertips. Next, you're always going to make sure that you've got a Keller Mortgage flyer in there and other options for financing if they need it. In our booklet, one very good page is this: how home buying works. A lot of folks don't know. So let's tell them first. You're going to need to partner with an agent, and I'm going to tell you why I can help you in every way and in any instance that you have. I want to know, to let you know, especially now, the inventories in the neighborhoods that you want. Because guess what, folks? It is very low and they go very fast. Now, as far as gaining access to off-market properties, well, that's a little iffy for us. So I don't know that you can take it out, but you can tell them there might not be very much of my ability to find off-market properties, because most everything that comes on the market these days goes into HAR, and that's as it should be. We're going to review what's happening in the market, and we're going to find out what your needs are. That's first. That's why you partner with me. Okay, in the midst of this, as we're talking all this information about where do you want to go, you're going to jump in there and say, and because Trek is very adamant about how I represent you, and my office also, I'm going to send you some documents. Those documents give you a wonderful idea about how I can work for you. And the first one is an IABS, an information about brokerage services. And it tells you exactly how I can help you as a buyer. And the second one is a buyer's representation agreement, which is a 6-page document that gives me the ability to represent you as a buyer. If I do not have that, we have a slight problem, because guess what? I don't represent you. I only represent the seller. And I would love to be able to find all the information out about the properties you want to see and disclose to you and help you with opinions and help you with advice as far as how to negotiate and get the best price for you. If I do not represent you, I cannot do that. Don't you agree that that is the best way for us to go forward? So talk to them about that at that time. And so I'll be sending you, and I think I have the right email address. Is it k.norwood@kw.com? I'll be sending those out to you. And if you have any questions, then we can go over everything at that time. Our second information, after I know exactly where we want to be, we've got to get you approved, because goodness gracious, there's such wonderful houses out there, and I don't want to go looking at houses that you cannot afford or that wouldn't really work for you because of what you need. And so let's talk about loans and how to get pre-approved. We've got to find out what you can afford, determine how much you want to pay a month, talk about debt ratio, and that's what the lender's going to do, because guess what? I don't need to know all that. I do a really good job learning about real estate. I don't really want to learn about being a lender. So I'm gonna send you some names, and hopefully you can get involved with a lender and find out what works the best for you. Because I have to make sure when we put any offer in that I have a pre-approval letter. And if I don't have that, we're kind of wasting our time. And I don't want your time wasted, and I know you don't want to waste mine either. So we're going to talk about a loan with a lender. I've got some names I can give to you. I'm going to talk about Keller Mortgage in a minute, and you might have some folks that you already know. So that is our second most important thing to do. So I'll be sending you not only the documents from Keller Williams Premier, the IBS and the buyer's rep, but I'm also going to send you a list of lenders and some information that you'll need. Let me stop here. Anybody got any questions so far? All right. After that, answer all questions. Go through, go on and send them. Well, let me finish this page, and then we'll go back to the buyer consultation book. Third thing, we're going to find you a new home. I'm going to find houses that meet your criteria, and we're going to get some favorites. We're going to narrow it down. Now, guys, there might be more inventory than we know, but right now there might be only 5 houses that are good for them. Narrow it down. At least if you started with 15, get down to the best 5. I don't recommend showing them more than that. Hopefully you can narrow it down to the ones. And if you've done your pre-approval and gotten all that, then you're in much better shape. So see how many houses you can get down, decide on the one that you want to see, and try to limit that number. The next session, the next steps are to negotiate, make your offer, and then negotiate it. And this goes over how they will be working with that. The next steps, and these are all these pages are in the buyer consultation. You go under contract. Before you close, you transfer funds, do all those other things. These are really pretty good little checklists. Then tells you what to bring to closing and what happens on the closing date. So these are good pages from there. Wish list, okay. Here are some of the questions in that buyer consultation book that are very important for you to talk to them about before you take them out to look at a house. What are your non-negotiables? Do you have to have 1 story or 2? Do you have to have 2 bedrooms down? Do you have to have a big yard? What are your non-negotiables? Do you have to have 5 bedrooms? Write them down, find out. Top 5, what would they be? Big kitchen, open concept, what are they? You find out. But besides those top 5, what else do you really want? Do you have to have a fireplace? Do you really want an outdoor kitchen? Find out. And this is a big one, you're built. Talk to your buyers. Will you be happy with an older home? Or do you want something that's been built now? A lot of folks say, I want new. Yeah, not always gonna have that. If you can get from 2010 to 2020, you're probably doing pretty good. If not, make sure they understand that if we get something that's older and the floor plan is something you like, we'll make sure on our inspections that the big things are okay. The AC, the heat, the roof, the hot water heaters, all of the important stuff, the electrical boxes, everything looks good or has been updated. Do you want to move in condition, or are you willing to do some work? When people visit your home, what do you want it to say about you? Now, I'm not sure why that's in there. That sounds like a listing question to me. And last, what are some specific features that you want to, you need in this house so that you make or feel instantly at home? Do you have to have, do you want it backed up to a lake? Do you want, so what are something that are non-negotiables? This is a great page. Financing, talk to them about this. These are very important, and these are forgotten sometimes. Do not tell them, look at this page, please. Don't go make any charges on your credit card. Don't go buy furniture. Don't go look at a new car. Don't even go look. Don't do anything that might affect your credit score. Just don't do it. Don't go apply for a new credit card. Don't do it. It's going to lower your credit score. Anything you can pay off or transfer balances, pay off, transfer, or do not close any credit balances unless your lender tells you to do so ahead of time. Don't change jobs, please. Don't do that until you talk to your lender. And don't co-sign for somebody else to make a purchase of any kind. Do not pay off collections before you talk to your lender. They might be giving you instructions of paying off credit balances and paying off collections. But let them know that they're there. And guess what? The title company is going to pull them up. If you've got collections, those are probably going to have to be paid off when you close on the house. But find out from your lender what are some things you're going to need to do. And here are the dues for applying for a loan. This is a great page, but you need to make sure they understand it. Talk to them, educate them. Don't do this, don't do that. Look at furniture online, please. Go to Wayfair, have fun, make your list. Don't buy it yet, please. You got to have all the cash you need and show that. Home loans. This is also in the booklet. We're talking about pre-approval and about Keller Mortgage, the importance of having a good mortgage company for your loan. Now, this is, can you see every page in here, or am I scrolling? Okay, good. All right. This was the Elementals 5 in your Ignite series. And I brought it over because I liked a page down here. I already went over some of them. Oh. Time frame. That other list did not have the time frame, because that is a very important thing to talk about that. If we found a house right now, are you ready to go? Are you ready to move? Can you close in a month or 6 weeks? What is your time frame for this? If they say, oh, well, my lease is not up till the end of November or the end of December, we might be a little early. Maybe not. That might work. October, we put in the November. They have to pay their November rent, and then their first mortgage payment wouldn't be payable until December. So you might be able to close now on a house. So time frame is very important.
What about a mid-January lease? So I have a buyer I think it's mid to late January, his lease is up. So we've been kind of in a holding pattern, first time home buyer. Pre-approved, everything's good. Just not ready yet to make he's not ready to buy it yet unless he's willing to have a mortgage and a lease payment, right?
Okay, October. So if we ended up trying to do a 6-week close, that would be end of November, December, January. Ooh, he's going to have 1 month of both, that's for sure. Even though you're not going to have a December payment on his new home, he will have a January payment.
Okay.
So
he's willing to close in December. So we're going to start in a couple of weeks, close to the end of this month.
Try for November at least, and see if whatever you can do will take an end as close to the end, because you don't want to mess with the end of December too much.
Yeah, understood.
Because you got Christmas and everything. So probably the 18th of December might be the latest you want to close, because the next week's Christmas going.
Yep.
So, that might be an option.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Time frame is very important for any of your buyers. Just like we just learned from Steve, it does make a big big impact on when to start showing them houses.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going out 60 days. Is that right?
Say it one more time.
It sounds like you're going out 60 days.
Yeah, it's because I'm thinking low inventory. He wants to buy a house. He's motivated. So 2 weeks to find what we're looking for. 6-week close puts us in mid-December.
Yep.
Okay.
That's for sure. And do that ahead of time because, like you said, inventory is so low and things are going so fast. If they find something they like and they cannot do it now, don't disappoint them. So wait, tell them we've got to wait. I'm sorry, I know it's horrible, but we've got to wait. Things are coming on the market all the time. And I know it's not as much as it used to be, but unless they're willing to and are able to make 2 payments on a lease or whatever they're getting out of, then it's real tough to start looking now.
Yep.
All right. Let's see, on the bottom of this, there is a page in our buyer presentation booklet that asks about minor things like, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Do you want me to, text you? You want me to phone call you? Well, give me your email, what time of day? What is best for you when I contact you? Because you don't want to get them mad calling when they're in the middle of dinner or whatever. So just make sure that is filled out. Always, always make sure you have a Keller Mortgage flyer that you send them and talk about the importance of at least finding out what Keller Mortgage can do for you. Even if you have a friend, and so they might say, oh, but my bank does home loans. Yes, banks do home loans. I can tell you as a realtor, banks aren't always the best on home loans. And I'll tell you why. You never know when the loan committee is going to meet. It might be in 2 weeks. And guess what? You find a house, you need a pre-approval letter and you haven't done everything. So we need to do somebody that does home loans every single day. And so let me send you some wonderful information by at least 3 lenders and you can choose. I can give you some information about Keller Mortgage, which is a wonderful thing that is a big plus. And I can tell you why I want you to choose and at least find out some information from them. Is it the only one you recommend? Of course not. But make sure they do understand the benefits of 0 lender fees, $1,000 credit back at closing, a wonderful rate, and it does have to be a $150,000 loan or more. All right.
Karen?
Question. Oh, go ahead, Raj.
Oh, Karen, I just have a quick question. Do some of the more seasoned agents have a Keller Mortgage loan officer that they use almost every time? Or do they get a couple going, or how do they just build a relationship with a few?
The answer to that is yes. Most all of the agents have someone that they have used before and used multiple times. Now, you have an option of this, going to the forum, Keller Williams Premier Forum on Facebook, and asking who is your favorite lender with Keller Mortgage, and they will give you names and numbers. Second story, though, is this. Like 2 weeks ago, we got data from Keller Mortgage that so many of these favorites weren't taking new clients anymore because they were too busy. They did not have the time for anybody new. That might not be the case now, so you can go online and ask them. If you just go to your KW Connect or and check in the phone number or the link, it will be put in a round robin and you'll get the next person that's in line as far as loan officers are concerned. At least then you know you'll be taken care of in a timely manner.
So does our office, like KW Premier, have like a rotation? Like when you say the round robin, is it like, are there certain ones that work with our office consistently, or no? So it's like a national round robin.
It's national.
Okay.
So the answer is yes and no. Because I know that, like a beer, I know Jennifer, I know Cher, I know there's lots of them that have their favorites. Mm-hmm. And if you do post out there, they're going to tell you who. And you can certainly contact them and see if they are taking clients now. If not, and you just dial the 1-800 number, or you refer a client through the Keller Mortgage tab, then they're just going to be sending you someone. So that's your option.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question along those same lines. When you mentioned, of course, you wouldn't only present Keller Mortgage.
Correct.
Where's your best source for RMLO's offerings? You know, to find the specials that are going on. Is there a certain website that y'all like to go out and look at other offerings?
For me, the way I look at it, I definitely recommend for our office ones, AMP and AMCAP. Or again, post out, who is your favorite lender? You can get 4 or 5 more from the forum because there's wonderful folks that do business with lots of our agents, and they can recommend those. That's the best place because I don't know what's out there and what options are available to help, whether it's teachers or firefighters or whoever it is, first-time home buyers. There's lots of stuff out there. I don't know the answer to that, but they do. So make your list of your favorites and keep them handy, whether it's title companies, inspectors, lenders, all of that. Get you a spreadsheet going. That's your team. So start working on it now and post them out. Next question. All righty then, let me stop sharing. I'm gonna do something else. I'm going to share the other screen. All right. I am now here in, all right. I'm now here in Command, back in our guide to home ownership, which is your buyer consultation book. You will need to adjust this, take out the pages. We're going to go over a few of them. Some of them I just used in the other illustration. So you're going to take out the ones you don't need. And then you're going to create your pages that you're going to want to send out to any buyer at any time you want to. Everything you need to know, you're going to put your name in here and our logo. If you happen to have another logo for your team name, there will be a place for it. The buyer consultation, this we already just went over about when to send this out. Again, you can add the client's name in here. This will populate with yours and your information. What's in this book? Table of contents, your dream home, your preferences, your neighborhoods, buying 101. I'm at your service. We're going to look at that. What I promise, and a glossary of terms. A lot of this is great. Some of it you might want to take out, especially if you're a new agent. Sound decision. Investing is important. This is a good page. Your needs come first, and here's where the questions start asking. What is the one thing that has to happen to make your dreams a reality? Do you have to get your bonus for the end of the year? Do you have to pay off some credit card debt? Or are you ready? Do you have the money saved right now for a down payment and or closing costs? Are you ready now? They recommend searching for houses on your app. If you have not got your consumer app all set up and ready to share out, that should be done first, or take this page out if you are not sharing your app regularly. This talks about what the app can do, how to search, and it gives you a link right here to download your app. Building your preferences. Here is where the questions start about how do I get a hold of you? How do you like to be notified? What's the best time to reach you? How do you want to get information and updates? This is a good page to find out about them. Oh, and then we start the wish list for the home. Who's going to be living there? How many adults? Non-negotiables. When the people, we already went over that page. More. What are you looking for? Single family, condo, townhome. What square footage do you need? How many stories do you want? How big a lot? All the things you need to ask. You know, I can tell you, my late husband, he would always do this, and I'd be listening to him, and one of the things he would always ask, you know, he's been in home building at first, and so one of the questions he always asked was this: I have a question. What's your favorite color brick? Are there any colors of brick that you really don't like? What if it's white brick or yellow brick? Because that used to be a really popular thing, but a lot of folks don't like it. Can you tell me what color brick? And I'm thinking, who cares what color brick it is? But some people really don't like the light color brick. They don't use light color brick anymore much. So anyway, so it's for today. What color, what kind of things, what exterior features are important to you? So make sure you know, do you have to have a pool? Do you not want a pool? What if it has a pool? Would that be okay? Okay, now we're on living room and dining room preferences. And you think, do I really need to ask all of this? Well, no, but you'll sure know what to look for. Our problem right now is with less houses to look at, you're not going to get everything on their wish list. I wish I could say, yeah, you could, but they're going to have to do some compromise, just like you see on TV. There's going to have to be some compromise simply because we don't have the abundance of houses to see these days. Okay. Living room, oh, did that one. Let me scroll down here. Okay. Then neighborhoods. They might not know which neighborhoods do you want to live in. Do you want Cinco? Do you want Cross Creek? Do you want north of 10? Do you want south of 10? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Then you can your neighborhoods are extensions of where you are. So the next few things talks about neighborhoods in this booklet. What is the best time to buy? We know right now is the best time to buy as far as not inventory, low inventory, but low interest rates. Now, you can, in this page, put in different subdivisions, and it pulls things about the average list price. If you want and know how to do this in command, that's wonderful. You can use this page. It's very effective if you're sending it. If you don't know it, you can always leave this one out. And then we go into the pages of how home buying works that we already went over. How to finance, we went over that also. The importance of financing. And this is a great page because it lets them know the papers they're going to need. We talked about what not to do, but we didn't put about what they're going to need. They're going to need pay stubs. They're going to need their last tax returns. They're going to need their last employers, bank statements for the last few months, a copy of your real estate agreement, the contract, the names and addresses of your landlords if you leased the last few. If you were divorced or have separation, you've got to have those documents, the finalized ones. If you have any child support papers or bankruptcy or discharge of bankruptcy papers, all of those the title company will need to close. So that's to let them know they'll need to get those soon as possible. Lending home loans with us. Now, here's where perhaps, unless you have some numbers to put in there, you can put in our office numbers, or you can choose not to use this page. That's up to you. Our office numbers, Mary puts them out every month. My competitive advantage, again, tells about your numbers. But this next page is really cool. From the day you partner with me, I'm going to be there to help you. I like this page. The next page is testimonials, which unless you have, leave it out. Next page is a promise to you. I like this. It says what you're going to do. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to do the right thing, even if whatever is not right would be easier. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be a trusted advisor for you. I like this page. This is something, if you are in the community, Red Day, yes, we do Red Day. And these are other things that you do in your community. If you don't want to add that, choose whether to leave it in or not. This is a great one. How can we do searching safely with COVID? Talks about socially distancing tours and how you can do contactless transactions. That's a good page. The bottom line, this is like your last sheet. I promise I am going to help you all the way to the end. Then you have definition pages, commonly used terms. Be sure and read it just to make sure you know what it is. Be sure and read it. And then last page with your info on it. Okay. Questions. I know I didn't really do a 1, 2, 3, but I kind of did.
Hey, Karen.
First, you need to talk about what they want and where. Second, you've got to talk about how they're going to pay for it, so you don't waste their time and yours. Then you can start looking at houses and see what's there. Time frame is always important. Questions?
Hey, Karen, I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
The first one about this. Can we share and post those on social media?
The whole shoot and match? This whole thing?
No, not the whole thing. It's like there are some flyers that we can change.
Yes, sir. Mortgage flyers, you betcha. Keller Williams, Keller Mortgage, yes, you can certainly put that out.
Okay. Second question, how to first communicate the buying offer with the listing agent?
Yes. Tell you the truth, as far as we are concerned at this office, an offer is not an offer unless it's in writing. And so, yes, you have to go through quite a bit of work to get that offer ready. Because one, say you found a house that they want to put an offer in. First thing you're going to do is do a CMA in heart. You don't have a clue what to suggest that they offer. So that's your first step. Do a CMA. Then when y'all have talked about what the house has as opposed to what is already sold or what other houses are active, you know you're going to offer this amount. Then you're going to, the next thing is, unless they have a lender, you can't go forward. You got to have a pre-approval letter. Everybody asks for it. Every agent asks for that. If they aren't pre-approved, you're wasting your time. So that has to be done ahead of time. So you've got a pre-approval letter. Good. So from that pre-approval letter, you're going to need to know some stuff. You're going to need to know how much they want, how much they're putting down, what kind of a loan it is, when they want to close. From the MLS sheet, the listing agent will tell you which title company to use, so you'll need to know that information. So all of that goes into writing. You're going to do that whole 1 to 4 family. You're going to do a third-party financing. You're going to do all the documents. The seller's disclosure, if you don't have it, you're going to get it from the listing agent. The HOA addendum, the mud district notice, all of those you're going to do ahead of time. Does it take a little time? Yes, sir. But that's how the listing agent knows you're valid, you're a viable agent, you know how to do it, and you're going to do it right. So you're going to send all those documents to your buyers to sign with the information, the offer they want, the close date they want, the financing they want, the home warranty they want or not, the closing costs that they want or not, and all that gets filled in by you. Then you email it, you send it off for electronic signatures, however you get that done, whether it's DocuSign or Zip Forms or heaven forbid, .loop. And then you send it to the listing agent all signed. Yeah, it takes some time, but that's how you start.
Okay, let me ask you then another question. Let's assume that my client has seen a house for $230,000 and he wanted to offer $220,000.
Yes.
So can I communicate that price first with the listing agent through messages or something to get his like opinion about it and then shoot the offer? No, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You can call the listing agent, say, I got an offer coming. I'm working on it. It is pretty close to list, but I'll get that to you as soon as I can.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I hate to say it, but yeah, that's the way we recommend.
Yeah.
What I would do which I would recommend, make sure when you're talking to them, one, that you have gotten the seller's disclosure if they did not put it in HAR, and any other documents, if they have a HOA or if they have a MUD district notice, make sure you get those from the listing agent. Find out what the title company is they want to use, and tell them you're working on an offer. I probably won't get it all done till tomorrow because it takes some hours to do. I won't get it done till tomorrow. Do you have any other offers working? Find out from them. That's always a wonderful question to ask. That way you know if you got any other competition and if 220 is even going to be in the ballpark. And then go get busy.
So it is an offer, oh, the 1 to 4 contract, that's the offer? You fill that form out? Okay.
That plus the third party financing and do a MUD district and a seller disclosure. You do it all as much as you can at first.
Okay.
Knowing it's going to be countered, yes, I'm sorry. I wish we could just go back and forth with emails. But as far as our office is concerned and many others, it's not really valid unless you do the due diligence and get it done in writing.
Okay.
Yeah. Next.
Okay, Karen, I have a question, Karen. Is there a listing, is there a list of like all the documents that are needed for each type of transaction? Because I know I drive you absolutely nuts calling you because I never know which forms I need when. So is there like some kind of listing that just says you need all these forms for resale, all these for new construction? Is there something like that?
Yeah, let me tell you. It used to be, to me, a little easier because when we were using .lick, we had checklists that Lorraine had put together that had a list of all the documents. Right now, where you get that list is in your opportunity. When you have put in your opportunity, it's a listing.
Mm-hmm.
And you click over there and I want the listing documents, they all pull up.
Okay, so just make sure.
Under contract documents, they all pull it up. But what I'm going to do for you, Brittany, I'm going to send you in an email the checklist that we used to have. That way you have a hard copy. I think Ann already has them.
Thank you.
That way you have a hard copy of what is already in command so that you can hold it in your hands and look at it, except in another place except for just in the opportunity. Would you like for me to do that?
Yes, please do so. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I do have another question.
Sure.
I have a new client and he's a lot. We've gone through all those checklists in this book.
Yes.
Yeah, we've gone through all the checklists in this book. He's actually a police officer that will be using T-Shack for his down payment. He started off wanting a pool. So we've gone from a pool to all this curb appeal he wants. He wants all these wonderful things. And he's trying to stay at around $200,000 for all of this. So everything, we've already done the pre-approval. I connected him with 3 different lenders that are on T-Shack's list. We've talked, they've done buyer education with him. We have all this wonderful stuff. He's still at this point where he's like, I'm gonna hold off because he seems to think he's gonna get $300,000 for $200,000. And so what would you suggest my next steps be with him? Because yeah, I'm at that point.
I understand. How do you get a buyer to be realistic? It's very difficult. The main thing I can say is find a house that has everything he wants, that you know is going to be 300,000 instead of 2. And then pull the ones that are for 200, and this is what you get. And tell them, here is reality. Here is your desires. These are your wishes. I can't make them match.
And that's what I did. I actually pulled 3. I pulled one that was under budget, one that was at budget, and one that was above budget.
Oh, cool.
And he looked at all of them and he just was like, no, I just know what I want to see when I see it. And I'm going, well, what do you want to see? And he wanted curb appeal. He wants no carpet. He wants a pool. He has all these aspirations of what he wants to see in this house. And I keep telling him, sir, we're gonna need some more money.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna work magic, but I need you to work yours.
And you can also set him up on a an automatic email from HAR with his parameters, and tell him that whenever one comes up in HAR, it's going to email it to you. I cannot make a house appear at the price you want with the things you need.
He started sending me houses, and I'm looking, and so I actually went into the seller's disclosures, and I promise you 3 of the 5 houses he sent me all had foundation issues. And he still was like, I want it. And I'm going, sir, do you understand? Financially, a house with foundation issues, what that means for you. And he's just like, but it's beautiful. And I'm going, okay, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So yeah, we've been in the roller coaster. I've even developed a partnership with one of the lenders. I gave him kind of like a pre-workup of this is what I'm dealing with. So even he tried to talk to him. It's a lot.
Well, eventually but don't go show him a bunch of houses until you've narrowed it.
No, I have not shown him anything. We're working on email. I will not, I told him we will not go look at anything until we get a strong list of contenders, because everything is yes, no, maybe so, I can't.
Yep. Well, I hate to tell you, but that's part of it too.
Oh, of course, I'm prepared for it. I'm just trying to figure out some strategies to get past this pool.
Right with the different ones that you sent. That was a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Next.
I've got 2 questions. If I
Yes.
So the title company, so the listing agent will list the title company to you. So if you're representing the buyer, we have nothing to do with the title. I mean, the title company is already stated.
Okay, let me tell you the option on that. Title company is something that has to be paid for. It is negotiable. I'll tell you, traditionally, seller pays for the title policy. It's their house. They're going to be transferring the title, and right now it is in their name. Buyer, yes, has some title costs also, but for me, as a buyer's agent, I don't care what title company I'm using, as long as they know what they're doing, and it's not just one that's I've never heard of, that I'm a little worried about, because usually the seller's going to pay for that. I don't mind asking the listing agent who they normally use, because if the seller's going to pay for it, I don't mind. Let's use the one the listing agent likes. I'm going to negotiate other things. Other things are much more important than me choosing which title company to use, because I love the closer and I've worked with them forever. For me, it's not worth it. I'm going to worry about negotiating repairs later and the price and other things. I'm not going to argue with the listing agent which title company to use. So just use the one they use, and the one that perhaps they already have opened with the title. They might have given the survey to the title company. Use the one they want, ask about it. If they don't have one, yes, use your favorite. But it's not worth arguing about.
Yeah, it seems like whoever's paying for the item, usually it's like if the buyer's getting a home inspection and they're paying the home inspector, they pick the home inspector.
They choose the home inspector. You better believe it.
I have another quick question about our question, and I forgot the exact numbers that he gave, but I mean, let's say there's a house that's $250 and the buyer wanted to offer $240, and you call that listing agent, that scenario. Do you think the listing agents in this competitive market, in this seller's market, would they come back and say, we already have 4 full price offers? So then if he had a buyer that's at 10,000 less, would you still write up that offer, or do you think the listing agent's just trying to throw people off? Or?
When you call the listing agent, you can ask them if you need documents and all, and what title company you want to use. Do ask, like I said before, do you have any offers already on it? If they tell you yes, and they are not supposed to really tell you what their offers are, but if they say, yes, I've got multiple offers and they're all wonderful offers, you'll know. You can't go in 10 and expect to get it, 10 below. You can ask them, are they full price? They're not really supposed to tell you, but if they do, great. Yeah, hey, you can always try. And it will also depend on the comps. If the comps show, and it all depends on the house and the condition of the house. So all of that is contingent on where you're going to go in for your offer. But definitely make sure you find out if you've got others that you're competing with, and how the house is priced is always dependent on where you go for an offer.
Because even if there are 3 full price offers,
that's your choice. That's your
and the appraisal could come through and all 3 of them are wrong. They're overpaying or something. Never know.
But that's when you do your CMA and find out, is a full price offer warranted for this house and the comparables that are there? Is the house overpriced, or is it priced well? If it's priced well and you know the comps could come in and it will appraise for more, that is between you and your buyer. How much do they want that house? Do they want to go in a bidding war to get it? It's just the fact of the matter these days. I would not go under 97% of list price unless it is just way overpriced, because you're not going to get the house these days if you do. That's where we are. Next question.
I have more of an observation if nobody has a question right now. I had learned by going into the matrix out on HAR that when you look at the agent view of a listing, not the shopper's view, but your agent view, you're going to see the listing agent's notes about what address, what email address they want those offers sent to, and any other agent to agent instructions that they want to give. They're going to be out there, so you can look at that.
Good agents do. Let's put it this way. Good agents do, because they want to save time. So they're going to tell you what, you cannot put title company information in there anymore.
Oh, you can't?
No. That went by the wayside a couple of months ago.
Okay.
But they will put, for title information, preferred title company, please call me. It'll be that. Used to, we always put it in the address and everything. Now they'll tell you, I want 1% earnest money, or this so many days on your option period, this much a day.
Right.
That, but they cannot give you the specific title company info. You still have to call.
Well, super helpful notes though.
Yes, you bet. That, and having the documents attached to the listing. That makes a big difference.
Karen, I have a quick question. And it's just because I'm thinking about our lovely little man I just was talking about. And this is my first resale, so that's why I'm asking. He has a pre-approval from one lender, right? But he also wants to keep shopping, and he also wants to look at house. So if I turn in an offer, is he limited to that pre-approval letter, or can he change it somewhere in that process? Because he says he wants to keep shopping for lenders.
Okay, when he gets an executed contract, let's hope real quick, within a week, he has decided upon one and locked in a rate. It is okay to shop, but when he is ready to put an offer in and get a contract, he needs to decide, because lenders are very busy, as you can understand. They are very busy these days. He's got to get all his documents together that we went over on that, all the check stuff.
Yeah, he did. I had him to do that ahead of time.
So whichever lender he's using, he has to work with them as quickly as possible. Okay. We don't want to delay 3 weeks after an executed contract and change lenders, because it takes lenders a while. They have steps by steps that they have to do. So make sure that if he wants to change, it's not but maybe 1 week into a contract, and he needs to lock something in with one, and he needs to make a decision. And then you need to tell the listing agent, I'm switching lenders, just to keep them informed.
Okay, yeah, he just
because
told me
they
he's gonna
can-
change his
You're
expectations.
changing lenders, or I'm saying, oh, it's not a conventional lease anymore, it's an FHA. Well, no, that's not gonna work. So you definitely make him, let's decide now.
Okay.
As quick as possible. Yes, they can change, but they'll make it a long time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next question. So your assignment, get into command. Go into designs. Do you want me to go through that step by step before we leave?
That'd be great. If you
Know
could.
where to go to get it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Command.
Real quick question, Karen, while you're getting there.
Yes, sir.
If I've I've already leveraged this buyer's guide, so just from a recommendation standpoint, I would like to email blast a buyer's guide. Do I have the ability to make this generic enough, not to a specific person, but just in general? There's a lot of pages in there that are great information for buyers, right? And then email blast it.
I would probably just do like the 3 pages.
Okay.
Do a smaller section instead of all of it.
Okay. All right. That's what I'll do. Thanks.
I'm gonna log in as me instead of demo. All right, I've logged in as me. I'm gonna go down to designs with the paintbrush. I'm gonna click the little plus sign on the box over here because I'm at a new one. And I want to do print advertising in this case and say next. It's loading me up. And over here, I'm going to do a buyer because I can do listings or lead gen or all these other stuff. And I'm going to go buyer presentation. There's 2 different looks. One with got a white cover and one's got a black cover. There's exactly the same thing. I'm going to use this one. Now then, it goes through every single page that we have. How to work with this, it takes some practice. You do want to go in to images, and you're going to pull in some of your own logos and your picture. You're going to add those from probably your computer, and so that you can plug them in where they need to be. So that's first. So I'm back to the template here. Now, I know that, see, I haven't done a whole bunch of these. You go in and you open it up and you're going to put your first name in and you're going to type it in, and you can go up here to the little typewriter and it pulls in your first name, and I'm going to change it to Karen, and I'm going to save changes. So you're going to go through here and you're going to fix it according to how you want it to look. You go into the DBA name, that's your logo. And you're going to go to wherever your logo is. So let's put this one in there. See, that's not really the right way to do it either. You're supposed to get where it will switch the logos on you. And see, I don't do enough.
To do that, yeah, you have to select the item that you want to swap. Once it's selected, you have some options. You can either go up and change the text, or you can go over to your left hand, like she's in, and hit the little swap button on it.
See, but this one doesn't have a swap button. That's
because you have to select it in the document.
Oh, okay.
It has to be selected. So select what you want to swap. There you go. Now you'll be able to find the swap.
Why doesn't it want to swap?
You're not in logos. You're in images.
Oh.
Go down to logos.
Oh.
There you go. Go to that one. You'll be able to swap a logo for a logo.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. Got it.
Replace. Okay, I want to replace. There it went. Yay!
Nice. Good job.
Yay. I don't have another logo for myself, so I don't get rid of that one. Okay. So see, you got to go in there and oh, I got to get rid of this one. Okay. So see, you got to go in there and play, and it takes a little while. But go through and get your, go back to templates. And so then go in and fix it, because this course is too little and you got to fix it all like you want it to do. Okie dokie. And I'm after 3 o'clock. Ask me any questions real fast.
Thank you for the training. Excellent training. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, you are welcome.
Thank you,
Did I answer any questions?
Karen.
I hope.
Yes.
We're all smart now.
Oh, yes. You know?
Thank you,
You
Karen.
always do, Karen. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, you are so welcome. Okay, Lynn, I will, yes, I will give you a call, Lynn, about contracts.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Have a
Okay,
good
goodbye.
afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.